Lion versus warthog. Savage ambush in African savanna. As the dry season approaches, survival pressure begins to spread across the savanna. Water sources decline, grasslands lose moisture, and access to food becomes more limited each day. Under these conditions, predators are forced to identify accessible prey at an early stage. Warthog herds are often among the first target group. Their daytime foraging takes place in open areas where ground cover decreases as grass dries. Dawn spreads slowly across the Serengeti savanna. Pale red light settles close to the ground and reveals the scale of the vast continuous plain. Within the remaining stillness, a large form stands motionless on elevated ground. This is Imbalo, an adult male lion that controls this area. Although stationary, Imbalo position allows full coverage of the surrounding territory. Imbalo mane is dense and dark. Faint gray markings appear along the neck and shoulders as evidence of multiple past seasons. Under the first light of day, this presence establishes territorial boundaries before activity across the savanna begins. The cubs remain close to Imbalo. Their activity range stays within areas controlled by adult individuals. As the sun continues to rise, the entire savanna becomes fully visible. A new day begins in the Serengeti and brings familiar patterns of hunting, defense, and adaptation, with Sahara directing hunting formations. And Imbalo maintaining territorial control. The pride prepares to enter the demanding survival cycle of the approaching dry season. On the opposite side of the savanna, a warthog herd is foraging. They move slowly across pale green grass patches that remain from the rainy season. Their gray-brown coats blend with the dry soil, causing the herd to appear from a distance as connected shadowed shape. The body form of warthogs is easy to identify. They have large heads, two prominent facial pads, and curved, sharp tusks. Under favorable conditions, warthogs can respond quickly to threats. When detected, they accelerate immediately and can reach high speeds, with raised tails serving as directional signals for the herd. At this moment, Herd behavior remains focused on foraging. Individuals spread slightly while searching for remaining moist grass patches. This loosened formation reduces mutual protection. Not far away, among mixed green and yellow shrubs, one juvenile warthog separates from the group. It moves into an area with sparser grass cover, where concealment is significantly reduced. This small change is sufficient to expose its position. The lioness formation responds immediately. They accelerate from multiple directions and narrow the space ahead of the herd. Panic response causes the warthogs to scatter instinctively. The juvenile individual is selected. It moves quickly but lacks experience in changing direction and maintaining safe distance. The coordinated attack concludes within a short time. Afterward, the lionesses regroup. Activity in the area subsides rapidly. The remaining warthog herd withdraws from the hunting zone on a high rise where green and pale yellow grass intermix. A group of cheetahs stands motionless. They are male siblings that form a stable coalition. This structure increases their ability to control larger prey compared to a single individual. Cheetahs have slender bodies, flexible spines, and long, lightweight limbs. Black streaks extending from the eyes down the face reduce glare and support vision under intense sunlight. This biological design prioritizes speed over strength. At the base of the rise, grass retains some green color from the previous rainy season. Larger prey species appear in this area. They have heavier bodies, move more slowly, but possess high endurance. For a solitary cheetah, these are not suitable targets. However, when individuals within a coalition coordinate, access possibilities expand. The strategy relies on speed and alternating pursuit. Across a landscape operating in stable patterns, a zebra herd moves through the savanna. Layered bodies form continuous bands of moving stripes that stand out in sunlight while remaining integrated with the rhythm of the open grassland. No two individuals share the same pattern. While juveniles move closely alongside adult steps. Hoof sounds and short calls carry across mixed green and yellow patches of the savanna. The surface of the scene appears calm. However, alert behavior remains continuous. At intervals, a lead individual stops for several seconds, raises the head, and scans the extended grassland ahead. All movement of the zebra herd remains under observation. Wind directions shift. This change carries prey scent along a favorable path. This is the moment when Sahara initiates formation movement. The lionesses separate from cover at the same time. Distance closes rapidly. Startle response causes the zebra herd to accelerate and spread outward. One individual is cut off from formation. The closing approach occurs within a short interval. The action concludes quickly and without extension. As movement subsides, the remaining zebras withdraw. Striped forms continue toward the horizon. The hunting area returns to a relatively static state. From a distance, Imbalo approaches. Movement is slow, and the large body occupies the forward space. Across mixed green and yellow grass, the presence of the adult male marks the next phase of pride activity. Prey handling proceeds in an orderly manner. Sound levels decrease. The operational rhythm of the savanna is rapidly restored. Sunset colors the grassland surface red. Large grazing species pause activity after a long day. Fading light emphasizes terrain contours. From a distance, two young male lions appear. They move in parallel while maintaining stable spacing. This coalition advances into territory controlled by Imbalo. Imbalo rises to face them. The dense mane carries marks of age and past seasons. Positional dominance of the resident male remains evident. The lionesses, including Sahara, step back. They maintain distance and do not participate. This phase belongs to male individuals. The confrontation occurs briefly and directly. A decisive strike alters the outcome. When the final daylight fades, the previous order ends. A new phase begins. The transition follows the strict rules of the Savanna. Farther away, within muted red evening light, a group of spotted scavengers stops on a raised mound. They raise their heads and register distant sounds from the conflict area. Locations of territorial struggle often leave accessible remains. These individuals do not approach closely. They maintain safe distance and move along the outer boundary. Waiting behavior begins as the savanna gradually enters darkness. Among low grass cover and scattered burrow openings across the savanna surface, small animals begin activity early. Within this space, banded mongooses and meerkats appear as a continuous part of the ground-level landscape. A banded mongoose group searches for food. They move quickly while scanning the soil surface for insects and small reptiles. Their slender bodies and light gray-brown fur allow them to blend with dry ground. Banded mongooses live in large groups that can include several dozen individuals. The entire group moves as a flexible unit that spreads out and then contracts again. Connection between individuals is maintained through short and clear vocal sounds that preserve formation during foraging. This species is known for its ability to confront venomous snakes. Fast reflexes and high resistance to venom allow access to species avoided by many other animals. In some cases, banded mongooses can subdue cobras, which are major threats on the savanna. When food is detected, individuals signal to call others to the location. When danger appears, the entire group gathers immediately. Adult individuals position themselves on the outside to form a protective barrier around the young at the center. Not far away, on dry ground mixed with sparse grass patches, meerkats stand upright while scanning the surrounding. An upright posture on the hind legs expands their field of view across flat terrain. From a distance, these individuals appear as fixed points across the savanna. Meerkats live in large groups that often include 20 to 30 individuals. Within the group, roles are clearly divided. Young are cared for collectively by multiple adults, which is a cooperative behavior uncommon among many mammal species. The communication system of meerkats relies on multiple sound types. High-pitched calls warn of aerial predators. Short, dry sounds indicate the presence of snakes. Brief chirping sounds help gather the group when movement is required. Under soft morning light, activity by banded mongooses and meerkats continues across mixed green and yellow grass. During periods of intense hunting by large predators, the presence of these small species introduces a different operational rhythm. These animals do not hold dominant positions and do not participate in large hunts. However, their role is foundational. By regulating numbers of insects, snakes, and small rodents, they help maintain stability within the savanna ecosystem. As morning light spreads, alert calls, upright scanning postures, and rapid movements continue. During the harsh phase of the dry season, these small animals help sustain the quiet balance of the Serengeti. Today, the Serengeti still extends across a vast landscape. However, the wildlife system of this region is changing at a faster rate than at any previous period. These changes do not originate from natural predators, but from continuous human expansion. In the past, lion numbers reached high levels across the savanna. At present, this population has declined significantly due to habitat loss and conflict with livestock activities. Areas that were once continuous territories have become reduced and fragmented over time. Cheetahs face similar pressure. Although they are the fastest land animals, their survival depends directly on open space. When grasslands become fragmented, the distances required for high-speed pursuits are no longer sufficient. Fences, roads, and infrastructure projects create new boundaries. Migration corridors that existed for many generations become blocked. Movement routes that once extended to the horizon gradually disappear. Even highly adaptable species are affected. Warthogs maintain more stable populations than many other species, but prolonged drought significantly reduces available food sources. In areas with dams or locations where conflict with humans occurs, poisoning incidents continue to reduce numbers. African wild dogs, despite having high hunting success rates, now number only a few thousand individuals. Diseases transmitted from domestic dogs and habitat reduction are primary causes of decline. Smaller packs become more fragmented and more vulnerable than before. The most visible tragedy involves elephants. Tusks that once supported survival have become the reason for prolonged poaching. This pressure forces many countries to deploy armed protection units, drones, and cooperative programs with local communities for prevention. Climate change also affects smaller species. Meerkats and banded mongooses gradually lose burrowing areas as soil structure changes. Declining insect populations disrupt lower-level food chain. Although hunts, roars, and territorial disputes continue daily, the true struggle of the Serengeti occurs more quietly. This struggle unfolds within a world that is changing too rapidly. From the largest animals to the smallest organisms, survival increasingly depends on human decisions. The sun sets along the horizon and colors the savanna in soft red and yellow tone. Grazing herds gather closer to safer grassland, while juveniles retreat toward tree clusters. Activity by large predators decreases as night approaches. In the distance, elephant herds continue moving. Slow and steady steps carry the stable rhythm of this land. Wind passing through dry grass becomes the final signal of the day. The Serengeti continues to maintain familiar cycles of hunting, avoidance, reproduction, and competition. However, the surrounding context has changed. Species such as lions, cheetahs, African wild dogs, and elephants face unprecedented pressure from human expansion. Despite these challenges, the operational sequence of the savanna continues. When darkness fully settles, only wind and light grass movement remain. One day concludes, and the survival cycle prepares to begin again at dawn. As long as roars, hoofbeats, calls, and the steady steps of elephant herds continue across the plains, the Serengeti retains traces of the wild world formed at the beginning of life.